morning, Reimage kids. My name is Miss Mary. How are you guys doing? Let's stand up and worship today.
My God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Our God is strong. He'll do anything big or small. Nothing is impossible for a super wonderful God. Every day I can know God is always there for me and my family. Yeah, every day I can know greater is the one who lives inside me. Super big, super strong, super wonderful God. Super big, super strong, super wonderful
I think I made a huge mistake. Actually, I know I made a huge mistake. See this? I did this. I didn't mean for this to happen. I borrowed my mom's phone and it slipped out of my hand on the floor and broke.
Callie, please bring down my phone.
What to do? What to do?
I'm waiting.
Coming, Mom! What should I do? I think this will be my final vlog for my entire life. Friends, were you ever about to be in the biggest trouble of your life? What will she do? I feel like she will be so disappointed in me. Maybe she will be mad and not talk to me. Oh no. Maybe I'll have to eat double portions of veggies. Here's a comment from Gray. Gray says, maybe you can read something in the Bible to help. Let me Google. God helps people. Oh, look here.
It's time for our Bible story. Last week we left off with Moses being told by God to take his brother, Aaron, and free his people, the Israelites. It might have sounded like a simple thing, but it ended up being very challenging. It was complicated because the people of Israel had become such a huge part of Pharaoh's nation. They had been held captive in Egypt for a very long time, for generations actually. But God was tired of Pharaoh refusing to set the people free. Moses was told to go with one message to Pharaoh, to let my people go. But Pharaoh said no. So God decided to send plagues. Plagues were really painful disasters sent to Egypt by God to force the Pharaoh to let God's people go. God knew Pharaoh's heart wasn't changing. He did not want to let God's people go. Pharaoh would see the power of God through the plagues and allow Israel to be free. The first plague was water in Egypt being turned to blood. But Pharaoh would still not let God's people go. The second plague was frogs being sent everywhere. But that didn't work. So a third plague was sent. The third plague was dust turned to gnats. Gnats are tiny bugs that fill the air. The fourth plague were flies. Then the fifth plague were all the horses and all the cows and all the sheep died. But none of it worked. Pharaoh was a stubborn ruler and didn't want to let God's people go.
No.
With the sixth plague, the people and animals all got boils on their skin. Painful sores covered them. The seventh plague, it rained ice. Hail fell from the sky. The eighth plague, locusts ate up all the plants. Yet, Pharaoh still wouldn't let God's people go. With the ninth plague, everything went dark for 3 days. Moses went to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And do you know what Pharaoh said? He said no. The 10th plague was the worst one. All the oldest sons in Egyptian homes died in their sleep. This plague was devastating. Pharaoh finally changed his mind and decided to let God's people go. The people of Israel were saved that night and were free to go.
That's good news for us, friends. I bet God helps us when we are in trouble. I mean, breaking my mom's phone is pretty serious, but maybe God can help me. Maybe God will help my mom see that I'm really sorry and I will be more careful from now on. And I bet God will help me with other things too, like making wise choices and being with me when I'm afraid. I'm so glad God helps everyone. This is a comment from Susan. Once I broke my mom's phone and she was mad, but she told me she loves me anyway. I'm sure your mom will say the same, so be brave. Thanks, friends. You have been so helpful, and don't forget how helpful God is. God helps us when we are in trouble.
We will not be shaken. We will not be moved. We are holding on to you, Jesus, forever. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, 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 oh.
Out of the ashes you lifted me. You've set my feet on higher ground. No matter what may come my way, I'm holding on
talking about Moses and his life and how God used him in a mighty way to help get the Israelite people out of Egypt. But they're not out yet. And we need to talk about that this week. Because remember, God said to Moses, you're going to talk to Pharaoh. Remember, the Pharaoh is the king of Egypt. You're going to talk to Pharaoh and ask to let the people leave and not come back. And he's going to say, no. And you're going to keep asking, but I'm going to be right there to help. And remember, his brother Aaron is there as well, because Moses was concerned that he couldn't speak well enough before Pharaoh. And so we've got two brothers, Aaron and Moses. God is talking to Moses and telling Moses what to tell Aaron to tell Pharaoh. So there they are, Moses and Aaron in front of Pharaoh, and they go up for the very first time and they say, Pharaoh, we want all of our people to be able to leave. We want you to let them go. And you can imagine that Pharaoh looked at them like they had two heads. No way, I am not going to do that. And Moses said, then the God of Israel is going to bring a plague, and it's not going to be good. And this is what happened. You can't even imagine. All of the water turned to blood. Can you imagine being thirsty and wanting to drink water and it's nothing but blood? That would be most disgusting, wouldn't it? But that was the first plague. And even though everybody was all upset, they had no clean water to drink. All it was blood. Pharaoh still said no. So God told Moses, go back, ask him again. So here comes Moses and Aaron. And Moses says, Pharaoh, will you let the people go? The God of Israel wants his people to leave Egypt. And Pharaoh said, no. And Moses said, you're going to be sorry. There's going to be another plague. And this time, there were frogs everywhere. Can you imagine frogs everywhere in your house? You go to get in bed and there are frogs in the bed. You go to look in your maybe your pot that you have some food in and there's a frog sitting in it. Can you imagine you go to sit down and you have to move the frogs out of the way before you can even sit down? It was a terrible time. And Pharaoh still said, no. So God told Moses, go back. So here comes Moses and Aaron. And they go back again before Pharaoh. And they say, our Lord wants you to let his people leave Egypt. And what do you think Pharaoh said? Say it with me. No. So Moses said, okay, if that's what you want, here we go. And here was the next plague, number 3, lice on every Egyptian person and even on their animals. It was disgusting. When you get lice in your hair and it itches and you can't get rid of it, and it's even on the fur of maybe your cat or your dog, horse or your cows or your sheep, everywhere. Lice. Yuck. And what do you think Pharaoh said even after that? Say it with me. He said no. And God told Moses and Aaron, go back. Ask him again. So here we go for number 4 time. They go before Pharaoh and they say, will you let our people go? And Pharaoh, even though we've had blood, the water turned to blood, we've had frogs, we've had lice, Pharaoh says, say it with me, no. So this time, now we have flies everywhere. Everywhere. Can you imagine every time you turn around, there's flies on you? They want to go up your nose. They want to go in your ear. They want to go everywhere. They're bothering everybody. And Pharaoh still said, no. So, that wasn't enough, was it? And God sent Moses and Aaron back again. I want you to go back again. This is time number 5. Okay. So, here comes Moses and Aaron before Pharaoh. Now, probably Pharaoh's getting tired of this by now. And he knows bad things are happening. But it's like God hardened his heart. He didn't get soft and say, God, this is terrible for my people. Oh my goodness, this is a horrible thing. I need to say yes and let these people leave. What worse things could happen? But no, nope, absolutely not. His heart was hardened. And so this time, when they said, please let our people go, and Pharaoh said, say it with me, no, all the livestock died. The cattle died, the sheep died, the horses died. All of the livestock that belonged to the Egyptian people died. Well, that was their source of meat. That was their source of milk. That was their source of cheese. That was tremendously important that not happen. But do you think Pharaoh got softened in his heart? Do you think he changed his mind? The answer is, say it with me, no. He still wouldn't let them leave. God says, okay, I want you to go back again. And Moses and Aaron were like, oh my goodness sakes, we'll do exactly what you say, Lord. This is your plan. This is not our plan. This is your plan. We'll do whatever you say. So they go up to Pharaoh again. And Pharaoh's probably looking at him saying, okay, I see you guys again, but you know, this is just not something I'm gonna do. And they say, well, if you don't, you know something else is gonna happen. He said, I don't care. I'm not gonna let you guys go. So, this time, the 6th plague was boils, sores on people's skin. Boils hurt. It's an infection that's got pus in it, and it doesn't feel good, and it gets big, and you can't even lay down because they may be on your back, they may be on your side, they may be on your arms, and it's happening to all the people. All these Egyptian people have boils, and you know that they are not happy. But Pharaoh didn't care because God had hardened his heart. And he still said, say it with me, no. And the people could not leave. Okay. Well, God's not done. So Moses and Aaron are not done because they're partners with God. They show up at Pharaoh again. And this time, they say, will you let our people go? Pharaoh says, no. So here comes the next plague, number 7. Huge, big hailstorm. Big rocks of ice coming out, so big that it could kill somebody if it hit him in the head. And Pharaoh said, say it with me, no. I'm not letting your people go. But who's the strongest? Is Pharaoh the strongest? Or is God the strongest? Doesn't matter what Pharaoh says, does it? God's always going to be the winner. And Moses knew that. Aaron knew that. They just knew they had to be willing to let God work through them. So they did. So they came back for number 8 to ask one more time. So, Pharaoh, will you let our people go? And once again, Pharaoh said, say it with me, no. Okay, so here came a swarm of locusts. Now, I don't know if you can see this picture very well. Locusts look like grasshoppers. But there were so many of them. They were flying all over. It filled the air. It darkened the sky because it was like a cloud, so the sunlight could hardly get through. And these locusts wanted to eat up everything that was green. But still, Pharaoh said, "No, you're not leaving." Okay. 8 things have happened. And you know that the Egyptian people were getting quite upset. And they wished that Pharaoh would say, "Yes, get these people out of here. This is driving us crazy." But Pharaoh was, not going to let them go. Okay. So God sent Moses and Aaron again. "Let our people go." And Pharaoh one more time says, say it with me, "No." And this time, it was dark for 3 days and 3 nights. Have you ever been someplace where there's no electricity and there's no lights? Dark is really dark. You can't see anything. You can't see where you're going. You can't find stuff in your house. If you walk along, you could get off the road by accident and end up somewhere in a ditch. They couldn't see for 3 days and 3 nights. It was so dark. But Pharaoh still said, say it with me, "No." Now, God was ready for the big one. And he told the Israeli people through Moses, "Okay, get ready. Get ready this time. This time we are going to have a plan that's going to keep all of the Israeli people safe, but not the Egyptian people. What I want you to do," God said, told Moses, "tell the people we're going to have a special supper. They're going to take a lamb and kill the lamb for the supper. They're going to take the blood from the lamb, and we're going to use a special branch, and we're going to mark this blood on the doorposts of the houses and across the top of the door. That's going to be a very special sign to the angel that's going to walk through. Because when he sees that blood, he will know that you are one of the children of God." So that's what the people did. They had this very special supper. They did lots of planning. We won't talk about everything they did, but they had lots of planning for it. And they painted this blood on the doorposts and the cross piece of their doors. And this angel that was walking through that night, when they went and they talked to, first of all, they talked to the Pharaoh one more time. They said, "Pharaoh, let our people go." And for the 10th time, he said, "No." But this time, they were ready. And that angel of death that night walked through all of the area of Egypt, and every Egyptian firstborn male died that night. None of the Israelis, only the Egyptians. And that made the Pharaoh realize, because his son died, we got to let these people get out of here. Not only did the Egyptian people say, "We are so happy that you're going to get out of here," but they also gave them gold and silver and all kinds of goods to take with them that they would need to leave, because they were so happy to get rid of these folks and all the trouble that was being caused to them. And the Israeli people were able to leave. God's people marched out of there carrying all kinds of loot because God had planned it for them. And Moses was their leader, and he helped them leave. the big thing is Moses was willing because he knew God was God, that he is Lord of the universe, that he has all the power, and whatever he says is going to happen. And so if you think about it, Pharaoh was really dumb. He should have recognized how strong God was, and he should have let him go first. And his son would be living, and all of that bad stuff never would have happened. But it did. My question to you is, if God asked you to do something, and it seemed like it was really hard, and it was something that you were kind of scared to do, and you thought, I don't know if that's the right thing for me. If you will just say yes to God, you will see amazing things happen. And that's what our whole church is talking about now. We want to see amazing things happen in our church because we are saying yes to God. We are willing to do what He wants us to do. Talk to your parents and see if they are open to God and what He might want them to do. But I'm talking to you right now. Are you willing if God speaks to you? I wonder what Carl and TJ think about all that. Let's find out.
Oh, no. Oh, hey, it's me, Carl. Welcome to Grow TV. We got a lot to talk about.
Welcome to Grow TV. Hosted by Carl, where we have fun with our friends, talk about Jesus, and go over everything the Bible has to offer. Now, once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Hey, y'all. I gotta be honest. I'm not super prepared this week. I've got a lot on my mind. I'll tell you what, I read some of Moses' stories this week and there's some crazy stuff happening in there. I mean, Moses said yes to God's plan for him. Then he went to Egypt and was like, hey, Pharaoh, let my people go. And Pharaoh's like, no way. Moses is like, what? And things totally changed after that. Things changed so much, it got me scared. That's why I'm prepping. Because I read about the 9 plagues that went over Egypt, and to call me Frank, even though I'm Carl, I got scared. So I have over here some items that are going to help me prep for any possible plagues God might send my way. This is a Yeti mask. Know what Yetis are good at? Finding beef jerky. Why? I don't know. They were made for it. So if I'm ever hungry, I put this on, I'll probably find some beef jerky. This is an air pump. You get a flat tire on your bike? No worries, I got air. This is a Batman mask. It just looks cool, so I'm keeping it. And this is a Frisbee that looks like poop. Makes me laugh. And if you throw it at people, they'll go, ah. So, Frisbee poop. And that's it for now. I'm gonna have more, but I think this stuff, it'll keep me out of trouble for now.
Carl!
Hey, DJ, what's up, man?
Not much, bro. How you doing?
Well, if I'm being honest, I guess I'm a little paranoid. I've been prepping.
Oh, you prepping? What you prepping for, Carl?
The possible plagues.
Possible plagues? Carl, you lost me, man. What you talking about?
Well, I read in Exodus about the plagues, and it got me worried. What if something like that happened to us? So I got all my gear ready just in case.
I guess I can see where you're coming from. What about the story has you so worked up? Let's start there.
Well, let's look at it. Pharaoh was refusing to let the Israelites go, even though Moses told him that God had sent him, and even though Moses turned his staff into a snake.
Pharaoh still didn't listen to Moses.
Exactly. And then the plague started. So the first plague was the river that turned into blood. That's gross. If I were Pharaoh, I would have let the Israelites go right there. Ugh.
I'm with you, man. Because right after that came the frogs. Imagine frogs in your street, in your house, and in your bed.
I know, it's terrible. After that came the plague of lice, then the plague of flies. Yuck!
Then the next plague was a plague that made all the livestock sick. Poor animals.
Yep, and then the next one was, I don't like this one, the plague of boils. I don't even know what that is, but it scares me.
Boils are like skin infections that cover your whole body and are extremely painful.
Ouch! That had to have hurt.
Want to talk about hurt? How about the next plague? Hail. Balls of ice falling from the sky.
Then locusts, bugs flying everywhere. And finally, the last one, darkness. A life covered by darkness. Listen, I'm still afraid of the dark. That's why I'm going to keep a flashlight on at all times.
Oh, wait, Carl. That's not all.
What do you mean?
Oh, there's more.
I mean, there's the final plague, darkness. What's more terrifying than that? Talk about troubling.
Carl, that's not the last plague. That's the 9th plague. There's 10.
10? Are you kidding me? I finally started to calm down, and now you drop this on me? Oh no, this is going to be awful. What am I going to do?
Well, let's talk about the last plague. It's called the plague of the firstborn.
Excuse me?
But this plague, the Israelites have a chance to save their firstborns.
The what? TJ, I'm a firstborn.
Yeah, me too. So this was Pharaoh's last chance. But God told Moses a way that the Israelites could be spared from the last plague. The people would need to take the blood of a lamb and paint their doorpost with it. Then when the plague came across the land, it would pass over their homes and they would be saved.
So the Israelites were saved?
Yes. After that, Pharaoh let the Israelites go. And after that, Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt and away from their horrible lives they knew as slaves.
Well, then what happened?
Nothing. God had saved them from Egypt and from the 10 plagues. Well, there was that moment when Pharaoh got mad and got all his soldiers and then he chased them when he was in his chariots and horses.
I knew it. More bad things happened.
But God saved them from that too. God actually had them walk right through a sea to escape Pharaoh's army.
Whoa, that's great to know that God helps when we're in trouble.
You're absolutely right, Carl. And I have good news. That's our big idea. So today's big idea is God helps us when we're in trouble.
On the count of 3, let's say it out loud. 1,
2,
3.
God helps us when we're in trouble.
God sure does. Helps us when we're in trouble. Woohoo! Good job, everyone.
I'm glad we got that all figured out, man. And you know what? Next week, I'm excited to talk about what happened to the Israelites after they left Egypt.
Well, that's great. I can't wait to learn. So I guess I don't need this stuff now, right?
Well, you might need it for that thing. That's something behind you, Carl. Something behind you, man.
What?
Gotcha. All right, kids. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
Hey guys, welcome back to Creative Corner with Miss Sierra and
Layla.
And all right. Today we are going to make a Band-Aid buddy. Have you ever made a Band-Aid buddy before? So cute. All right, so first you're gonna take a piece of cardstock paper. If you don't have cardstock paper at home, you can just take a regular piece of paper. You're gonna fold that paper in half, and you're gonna need this card shape. You're gonna need a large Band-Aid. You're gonna need some googly eyes if you have them, some pipe cleaners, pom-poms, markers, crayons, anything to decorate. All right, after you've folded up your cardstock or your paper into a card, put your Band-Aid on the front just like this. Then you're going to make a character out of the Band-Aid by putting the googly eyes up there, or you can draw some eyes with a Sharpie or a black marker, and then add some arms, some hair, some little fun decorations. So while you work on that, I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit about who is someone who could use your help by receiving an encouraging card. Maybe it's a get well soon card, maybe it's happy birthday or congratulations. Maybe it's just because I was thinking about you and I wanted you to smile this week. God helped the Israelites when they were in trouble. He helps you and me today when we're in trouble too. What are some ways that God helps us today? Well, He helps us when we're sick. He helps us find our way if we get lost. He helps us by giving us nice friends so that we don't feel alone. God helps us in so many ways. He sends other people to help us too. He helps us through music or reading or just a conversation with a good friend. God helps us in answered prayers. He helps us in so many ways every single day. He helps us when we're in trouble. And you could even be someone that God uses to help someone else. All right, let's see what those cards look like so far, girls. How cute is that? Oh, your eye fell off. It's okay. God will help you with that eye, I'm sure. Here you go. Keep working. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Remember, you are a beautiful creation of God.
Hey, friends, I have some more questions this week. Can you help me answer them?
Yeah, sure, I will.
Thank you. Who helps you when somebody steals your backpack and runs away?
Teacher.
Good job. Who helps you when you are in trouble?
God. God helps us when we are in trouble.
Grayson, that's our big idea.
Cool.
Repeat after me. God helps us.
God helps us
when we are in trouble.
when we are in trouble.
Great job, friends. See you next week.
Hello, friends. My name is Kim, and this is Kenya.
Hi, friends.
And we've got our Bibles because it's time for our Memory Verse. All right, so this week we are going to learn the sign language for our verse. But first, let's say it together. All right, so it's Psalm 121, verse 2. My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. All right, so you guys just follow my signs and we'll learn the sign language. All right, so my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. All right, good job, friends. We'll see you next week. Bye.
What a great week, friends. I am so thankful that our help comes from the creator of heaven and earth. Not just heaven, not just earth, both. Huge, so exciting, so wonderful. Let's go ahead and pray. Dear God, thank you for reminding us that we can always ask for your help when we are in trouble. Thank you for being the one we can always count on to help us out of tricky situations and protect us from getting into them in the first place. Amen. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Can't wait to see you next week. Don't forget, as always, Rockin' Kids News is next.
Hey guys, this is Kids News with Lydia and Whitney. If you guys are wondering, Kids Church is still going in person, but if you are not ready to go yet, that's fine. We'll still be here.
Hey, Lydia, are you having an okay time at school?
Yeah, it's so much fun.
I'm getting bored.
We are having so much fun recording Virtual Kids Church. And if you want to be part of the fun, just let us know.
Hey, Lyd, I think shooting our own YouTube reimage channel is so fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
You guys should subscribe just like we did. And don't forget to share it with all your friends.
Next week, for Creative Corner, we will need paper, markers, tape, and a water bottle.
We believe it's important to pray and ask God for help, but we also think it's important to thank God when He has helped us. So if you have any prayer requests, please leave them in the comments below.
And don't forget that all of our help comes from the Lord. We'll see you next week. Bye!